See, first class, test automation. See, software testing. Software testing can be done in two ways. One is using manual testing. Another way, test automation. Sometimes both. Some part of the testing manual, some part of the testing automation. Okay. See, in this chapter, this is introduction chapter. In this chapter, first topic, advantages and disadvantages of manual testing. See, advantages and disadvantages of manual testing. Find the difference between software testing and manual testing. Kamal.
Yes, sir.
Did you find the difference between software testing and manual testing?
Software testing is both.
Software testing can be done
In both ways, manual testing and automation
either using manual test process or test automation, or using both. Some part of the testing manual, some part of the testing using automation tools. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Next, advantage and disadvantage of manual testing. Can you tell me, Sridevi, advantages of manual testing? Advantages. Find the advantages.
No tool is required, so less expensive.
Okay.
No tool is required.
No tool is
so less
required.
expensive.
So no cost. No test tool cost.
Yeah.
Good. Next.
For manual testing can be done for dynamically changing applications.
Yes. See. Can be used for dynamically changing UI, user interface designs. Suppose if user interface is changing regularly, automation is difficult, more efforts required. Okay. Next. Anything else?
Where automation cannot be implemented, we can test it manually.
Pardon?
Where we cannot automate, we can test those scenarios manually.
Yes. For newly designed test cases, manual testing is required at least once. And one more thing, here, no environment limitations. See, no environment limitations. Did you understand this concept, Aarti? No environment limitations for manual testing.
Yes, sir.
Say, if it is QTP, EFT, formerly QTP, environment limitations. What are the limitations? Suppose EFT can't be installed on Unix or Linux environment. Next, we can't test informatic applications using EFT. Environment limitations. But manual testing, no environment limitations. Irrespective of the application environment, you can apply manual testing methodologies. Okay, now Muhammad Kamal, suppose for example Selenium.
Yes, sir.
Selenium also having some environment limitations. Tell me one or two environment limitations for Selenium tool.
We need to use Java.
No, Java not mandatory. You can use either Java or C# or Perl, PHP, Python, Ruby for test design and execution. That is not the limitation. Say, Selenium can automate web
Browser
browsers
limitation.
only. No, Gagan, that is not correct. Selenium can automate web-based applications only, not Windows-based applications. Suppose desktop application, we can't test desktop application using Selenium tool, environment limitations. But if it is manual testing, even though time-taking process, no environment limitations. Okay, irrespective of the application environment, you can use manual testing methodologies. Any other, Sridevi? No test tool cost, can be used dynamically changing UI design. Next, one more thing, recommended for short-term projects. Suppose if it is short-term project, automation is difficult. Why? For automation, more efforts and time required at initial stage. See, useful for short-term projects. And one more thing, some types of testing, for some types of testing, manual testing is the only solution. For example, usability testing. Tools can't judge look and feel aspects. Only human user can judge look and feel aspects. See, for usability testing, manual testing is the only option. Okay. Next, see, these are the important advantages of manual testing. And one more thing, programming knowledge also optional. Programming knowledge also optional. See, computer programming knowledge. Programming knowledge. See, in manual testing, documentation. Next, thinking, reasoning. No programming knowledge. No programming knowledge is required. Programming knowledge optional. Okay. Next, disadvantages. Contribute Muhammad Kamal. Disadvantages. See, two people not contributing, Varma and Gagan Saini. You rectify your audio problem at least by tomorrow. Disadvantages. Aarti. Kamal, continue.
Time taking and it's very time taking and labor intensive.
Yes. It takes more time. It takes more time or more resources, human resources and environmental resources. More resources. Put mute, sometimes both. Sometimes both. Both means time and resources. See, somebody is making nice, put mute. Contribute Aarti. It takes more time or more resources. Resources in the sense human resources and environmental resources. Sometimes both, time and resources. Next.
100% automation is 100% automation is not possible all the time.
Observe. Here we are not discussing automation. Manual testing. advantages completed. We are discussing disadvantages of manual testing. Don't confuse. Disadvantage of manual testing. Okay. Okay. Sridevi, contribute. Disadvantage of manual testing.
Yes, sir.
Disadvantage
We can't insert
of
more. Yeah, if it is, we can do data-driven testing. If automation here, data-driven testing is more time-consuming.
yes, time consuming. Why? For every iteration, human user interaction is required. See. Okay, that we covered already. It takes more time. In that you can use that one. Data-driven testing. Data-driven testing takes more time. If it is automation, less time. Okay. Next, important one. Some types of testing is not possible using manual testing methodologies. What is that one? Performance testing. Performance testing is impractical. Performance testing is impractical. Suppose if you want to test 10,000 users load. See, organizing 10,000 users and systems, impractical. Next, contribute Muhammad Kamal. Anything else? See, testing with large amount of data, time taking process. Next, comparing large amount of data. Put mute, somebody still making noise. See, comparing large amount of data. See, put mute, somebody still making noise. Avoid that noise. Just a minute. Okay. Comparing large amount of data is difficult. Next, say comparing large amount of data. Suppose I want to compare two databases or two resources. Suppose 10,000 records available in Excel. I want to compare with database data. See, manual comparison is time taking process and less accuracy. If it is tool can compare quickly. Next, anything else? Tell me, Kamal. Comparing large amount of data is difficult. Sridevi told. Contribute, Sridevi. Data-driven testing and batch testing take more time and efforts. Sridevi, contribute. Hello?
Yes.
Disadvantage of manual testing. See, checking GUI object sizes and color combinations difficult. Checking GUI objects, sizes and color combinations, difficult. Anything else? Tell me, Aarti. Kamal?
Yes, sir.
See, less test coverage. Less test coverage. Suppose one phone number object is there. It has to take 10-digit numeric values. For that, if you want to test with all possible inputs and preconditions, thousands of inputs, not possible. For that, we use test design techniques, equivalent classes, and boundary value analysis to reduce the input domain size. If it is automation, you don't want to reduce the input domain. You can use programmatic statements, conditional statements, loop statements. They can check the input data and output data. See, if it is automation, more test coverage. Next, Sridevi, anything else?
Less accurate.
Yes. See, human users may make mistakes. But if it is automation, if we provide correct logic, tools can provide correct output every time. See, less accuracy, etc. Okay. We'll discuss brief. Actually, it is not our core concept. See, in this first topic, we discussed the advantages and disadvantages of manual testing. Next, second topic, advantages and disadvantages of test automation. Advantages and disadvantages of test automation. Tell me, Gagan, advantages of test automation. You try to use headphones at least by tomorrow. Tell me, Aarti, advantages of test.
Fast.
Fast.
It's fast.
See, tools are fast. Tools are faster in test execution. See, okay. Say, here in software testing, two important things. Two important tasks in software testing. First task, test design. Second task, test execution. Test design. In case of test design, we can't save the time in test automation. Sometimes it takes more time than manual testing. For test execution, you can save the time. Tools are faster in test execution than human users. Anyhow, test design one-time activity, test execution multiple times. Definitely you can save the time. Next, Kamal. See,
Regression
reusable.
test is
Pardon?
okay.
Reusable. What is reusable? We can reuse our tests and components on different versions of software. What example? Sanity tests. Next, regression tests. Next, repeatable. See, difference is there in between reusable and repeatable. What is repeatable, Arti? Reusable means executing tests on different versions of software. Executing tests on different versions of software. Repeatable
means positive and negative testing, I think.
Positive and negative testing, okay. What is that concept? Repeatable means executing same tests or same functionalities using multiple sets of test data. See, data-driven tests. Data-driven tests. Next, reliable. See, tool is software. If we provide correct logic, tool can provide correct output every time. If it is human user may make mistakes in terms of complex calculations. But tools provide correct output every time if we provide correct logic. Next, programmable. See, every functional test tool supports programming or scripting features. We can apply programming logic to our tests so that we can achieve more than manual testing. Suppose if it is manual test case, scope is limited. Human user can concentrate on 1 or 2 verification points at a time. But if it is automation, you can insert 10, 20, 30 verification points in a test. Tool can concentrate. Tool is software. It can concentrate. Final conclusion, automated test scope is very high than manual test case. Next, comprehensive. See, test tools support batch testing, means executing series of tests without human user interaction. Tool can execute test batches. You can save the time and efforts. If it is manual testing, for each and every test case execution, human user interaction is mandatory. See, these are the important advantages. What are the important advantages? Tell me, Aarti, just headlines. 6 advantages we discussed. What are they?
Fast in execution, reusable, repeatable, reliable, programmable, and comprehensive.
Okay. And one more thing. For some types of testing, automation only possible. Example. For some types of testing, automation only possible. Manual testing not possible.
Reusable?
For performance testing. See, performance testing, manual testing not possible na. Suppose applying 10,000 users load, 20,000 users load, impractical. For performance testing, test automation. Test automation is the only solution. Okay. Next, disadvantages, Sridevi. Disadvantages of test automation.
Not applicable for short-term projects.
Yes. See, at initial stage, more efforts and time required, so not suitable for short-term projects. See, not applicable for short-term projects. See, not suitable for short-term projects. Anything? Next, one more thing, 100%.
Usability testing.
Just a minute. 100% test automation is impractical. Generally, we try to automate maximum scenarios, not all scenarios. 100% test automation is not possible. Continue, Sridevi.
Usability testing is not possible.
Yes.
All types of testing.
Yes, all types of testing is not possible. All types of testing is not possible. Example, usability testing. Usability testing. Next, contribute Aarti.
Lack of knowledge, you have to have a knowledge for the automation.
Yes, for automation, programming knowledge is required. If you don't use tools in proper manner, you won't get desired benefits. See, lack of knowledge. Next, one more thing, technical issue, debugging issues. See, sometimes scripts won't show any errors and won't provide correct output. See, test scripts won't show any errors and provide correct outputs. So, debugging issues. Next, Kamal. See, test tool also software. Tools may have their own defects. See, test tools have their own defects. So, we may not get desired benefits. We may not get desired benefits. Next, Kamal, contribute.
Expensive.
Expensive is not correct. If we use tool in proper manner, definitely we can reduce the cost in terms of human resources and environmental resources and time also. See, technology, environment limitations. Suppose UFT, formerly QTP, doesn't support informatica applications. Selenium doesn't support desktop applications. See, environment limitations. If it is manual testing, irrespective of the operating system, irrespective of the application environment, irrespective of the browsers, you can apply manual testing methodologies. Next, anything else, Sridevi?
Not suitable for short-term, dynamically changing user interface
Yes.
applications.
See, not suitable. Not suitable for short-term projects. Short-term projects. Next, dynamically changing requirements. Next, Dynamically changing UI designs. Dynamically changing user interface designs. Okay, these are the important disadvantages of test automation. Next, come to third topic, types of test tools. Types of test tools. Here I will provide two types of segregation. One is business classification, another is technical classification. See, first business classification. Business classification. In this business classification, basically tools, three types. Vendor tools. Vendor means tool developer. Can you give one or two examples for vendor tools? Gagan, vendor tools. See, some companies develop test tools. License is required for usage and getting technical support. Vendor tools. Can you give example, one or two example? Varma, can you hear me? Varma. Okay. Aarti, give one or two examples for vendor tools.
UFT?
UFT is vendor tool. Vendor is HP. License is required for vendor tools. Vendor tools means companies develop, quality center also Gagan. Companies develop tools. License is required for using and this one for getting technical support. UFT.
Load runner. Quality center.
ALM. New name ALM. Quality center. Next, rational functional tester, RFT. Rational performance tester, RPT. Next, silk test, etc. Next, open source tools. Open source tools. Sridevi, source code available on internet. Anybody can download
Selenium.
and use. Yes, Selenium. Selenium. JMeter. Jira. Bugzilla, etc. Next, third type, in-house tools. Some companies develop tools for internal use. Tools names also local. See, in-house tools. Suppose Microsoft developed so many tools for internal use. Oracle Corporation also developed so many tools for internal use. In-house tools. Okay. See, this is business classification. Tools same. I will explain tools in two different angles. Next, another classification, technical classification. Tools same. I am covering test tools in two different angles. Technical classification. Technical classification. Here, four important categories. So many categories, four important categories. First one, functional and regression test tools. Muhammad Kamal, functional and regression test tools.
UFT.
UFT. RFT.
Silk test.
Yes, Silk test from Micro Focus. See here you can use vendor tool or open source tool. They support functional and regression test automation. Selenium, test complete, test, pardon?
SQ robot.
SK robot, outdated. New one is RFT.
Oh, RFT.
SK robot outdated. After SK robot, rational robot, after rational robot, RFT. See like UFT, first abstract quick test, then QTP, then UFT, like that. See etc.
Okay.
SK robot outdated. Next, performance. Sridevi, performance test tools. Examples.
Load runner.
Load runner.
Load runner. JMeter. RPT.
Okay. JMeter. Okay, Gagan. RPT, rational performance tester. Next, Silk performer. Next, QA web load, etc. Next, test management tools. Test management tools. See, ALM, application life cycle management. Application life cycle management, formerly quality center. Next, Jira, etc. Next, defect management tools, only for defect management. Test management, requirements management, test design, test execution, and defect management. Defect management, only defect management. Defect management tools. Bugzilla, PR tracker, problem report tracker, issue tracker, etc. See, this is a brief introduction about types of test tools. Next, fourth concept, concentrate, important one. Test automation life cycle. The term also ATLM. Automation test. Life cycle methodology. Automation test life cycle. It's not official, not from any reputed organizations like IEEE or ISO, but some companies are using this methodology. Say in this automation test life cycle, first phase, decision to automation. Decision to automation. Okay. Tell me, Aarti, here what are the considerable factors? How to decide organizations? How organizations decide for automation?
If you need to test reuse the data.
Okay. Sridevi, can you tell me how organizations decide for automation?
Based on what tools?
Investment. Here,
okay.
Here considerable factors is
Application is automation, which is the best method.
Test type. Next, size of the project also again. Test type. Next, time. budget, next customer interest, next maintenance. Suppose it is 5 years or 10 years maintenance project, then automation is useful. See, first test type. See, first organizations have to decide test type of the application. Suppose we want to automate functional test area, functional testing, and performance testing, etc. Next, time also factor. Suppose we have sufficient time, but complex functionality is there. That time you can go for automation. Budget also one of the criteria. Customer interest. See, sometimes customer asks for test automation. See, maintenance. Suppose if it is 1 year project or 6 months project, maintenance less. Suppose if it is 5 years, 10 years maintenance project, then automation is feasible. Say for this is decision to automation, these are the considerable factors. Test type, time, budget, customer or client interest, maintenance. Next, test tool selection. Test tool selection. Here, what are the considerable factors? Tell me, Sridevi, considerable factors in case of test tool selection.
Based on test type, like
Yes.
if it is performance testing,
We can go for load runner or JMeter or some. Suppose if it is functional testing, we can use Selenium or UFT like. Test type is a primary concern. Next,
open source tools or
just a minute.
license.
Application environment also na. Suppose our application developed using Informatica technology, UFT won't support the technology. Suppose our application is Windows based application, desktop application, or two-tier application, client server application. Selenium is not suitable for that. Application environment also one of the factor. Next, cost. Suppose we have more budget, then we can go for that one, vendor tool, otherwise open source. Cost. Next, available resources. Next, technical support. See, all these are the considerable factors for test tool selection. Next, third phase, test planning and development, test development. Test planning and test development. Here, what are the important tasks in test planning? Muhammad Kamal, automation test planning. After tool selection, configure the tool. Next,
design the test.
Analyze the AUT. Next, select test cases for automation. Select test cases for automation. Here, no limitations, no restrictions. Generally, we try to automate three category of tests. What are the three types of tests? Can you tell me, Aarti? What type of tests can be automated? No restrictions, no limitations. Kamal. Gagan. See, tests that we have to execute on every build. Okay, Gagan, regression also. Execute on every build. What type of tests? Sanity tests. Next, test that we have to execute on every modified build. Regression tests. Every modified build. Regression tests. Next, tests that we have to execute using multiple sets of test data. Execute using multiple sets of test data. What type of tests, Kamal?
Data driven.
Data driven. Data driven tests. Okay. See, no restrictions, no limitations. You can select other areas also if possible, but these are the common areas. Next, select automation framework. See, somebody still making noise. What is the problem? Select automation framework and implement it. Next, test development. Tell me, Sridevi, test development. How to develop tests? Developing tests using recording or using
Script. I mean, we will write from scratch, like descriptive programming.
Okay, in QTP descriptive programming, in Selenium no descriptive programming, using programming language you can write. Okay, otherwise recording or type tests, test scripts manually. Next, developing. Okay. Next, enhancing tests. Put mute using tool IDE and programming features, using programming features like flow control statements, loop statements, functions, etc. This is about test planning and development. Next, test execution. Test execution. See here, single test run. Next, batch testing. Batch testing. See, generally we prefer batch testing. Executing series of tests. Next, generating test reports. Next phase, analyzing test results and reporting defects. Analyzing test results and reporting defects. Say reporting defect is not test tool activity. We have to select other tool. But analyzing results also user responsibility. Analyzing test results and reporting defect both are user responsibility. Next, last one, maintaining automation resources. See, maintenance of automation resources. See, this is a brief introduction about automation test life cycle. Can you tell me, Sridevi, give one or two examples for automation resources? One or two examples for automation resources.
Batch runner tool.
Batch runner tool is resource.
Automation resources, library files, environment variables.
Yes, library files, environment variable files, test data files,
repository,
recovery scenario files, etc. We have to
XML files.
XML files. We have to maintain automation resources. This is a brief introduction about test automation life cycle. Come to mainstream. Mainstream, concentrate. Selenium. Second chapter. See, once again, in the first chapter we discussed advantages and disadvantages of manual testing. Next, advantages and disadvantages of test automation. Third concept, types of test tools. Fourth concept, test automation life cycle. See, just a minute. See, first one, advantages and disadvantages of manual testing. Second one, advantages and disadvantages of test automation. Third one, types of test tools. Next, fourth one, automation test life cycle methodology, ATLM. Okay, next come to second chapter. Overview on Selenium. Concentrate. See, first chapter, general. Overview on Selenium. See, after 10 or 15 minutes, we will take a 10 minutes break. Before the break, first I will explain first topic. See, first I'm indexing this chapter. In this chapter, first topic, introducing Selenium. Introducing Selenium. Okay. Next top, I will index later. First, introducing Selenium. Can you tell me, Kamal, what is Selenium? See, with the same name, chemical element also there. Forget about that chemical compound. Test tool is there. Selenium.
Selenium is an open source test tool.
Open source. See, it told one thing. Open source test tool. Okay. Tell me, Aarti, something about Selenium. What is Selenium?
Java based or JavaScript?
JavaScript. It's not correct. Java based. What is Java based? See, Selenium developed in Java technology, but it supports other languages also for automation, not only Java. Selenium developed in Java technology, not Java based. What is Selenium? Sridevi, tell me.
Only for not used for desktop applications. It can
Not
be used
used
only
for desktop application. Okay, one more point. See, first one, Selenium. See, it is first point. See, in this first topic of this chapter, I will explain 5 topics. See, it is a suite. It is a suite of tools. It is a suite of software tools. It is a suite of software tools to automate web browsers. It is a suite of software tools to automate web browsers. See, in this sentence you can find 2 concepts. One is Selenium is not a single tool like UFT, RFT, Silk test. Suppose UFT, single tool. UFT has IDE, integrated development environment. You can use recording feature, checkpoints, output values, step generator, object spy, object identification, etc. features. And you can use program scripting language also. That VB script engine integrated in UFT, and MS Access engine also integrated with UFT tool for database operations. See, VB script engine integrated for scripting, MS Access engine integrated for database operations, and IDE also available for design, creating and executing tests. See, UFT is single tool, RFT is single tool, but Selenium is not a single tool. Suite of tools. Next, one more point. See under this, it is a suite of software tools. It's not a single tool like UFT. Second one, it automates web browsers, means it supports only web applications, not 1-tier or 2-tier applications, means Windows based applications, desktop applications. It doesn't support desktop applications. UFT, formerly QTP, UFT supports desktop applications and web based applications. Okay, one point. Second point, Muhammad Kamal already told. It is a open source software. Open source software anybody can download and use. No license cost. Contribute Aarti, anything else? Two things we discussed. One is a suite of tools to automate web browsers only. Second one, it is open source tool. No license is required. No vendor. Anybody can download and use. Next.
Sorry, I can't think.
Okay, cool. Sridevi, contribute.
Sir, in UFT only VB script, but here we can use Perl, Python, Cucumber, Groovy script.
Not Cucumber. Cucumber is a different thing. Okay, that is one of the point. Next, Kamal. C.
Selenium RC used Mozilla Firefox.
I'm not asking about RC, WebDriver or IDE. Entire Selenium suite. Okay. We are discussing overall suite. Okay. Selenium supports various operating environments. Not only Windows, various operating environments. For example, Windows, Unix, Macintosh, Mac OS. Etc. Windows, Unix, Mac, etc. For example, UFT, formerly QTP. UFT supports Unix environment or Mac environment?
No, only Windows.
Only Windows. UFT supports Windows operating environment only. But Selenium supports Windows, Unix and Mac environments. Next, in case of browsers also, rich support. Say I am discussing about overall Selenium tool. I didn't segregate Selenium IDE, RC, WebDriver or Grid anything. Overall suite capabilities. Selenium supports various browsers. Example, Mozilla Firefox, next Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, next Opera, Safari, etc. Next, Selenium supports various programming and scripting languages to develop and execute tests. Selenium supports, Selenium supports various programming and scripting languages. You can select any one of the supported language, Selenium supports various programming and scripting languages. Whereas UFT, formerly QTP, supports only VB script, that is integrated. Can you tell me, Gagan? Selenium supports various programming and scripting languages. What are they? to design and execute tests. Okay. Java, contribute Kamal, supports Java, C Sharp,
C Sharp,
PHP, hypertext preprocessor, next, Perl, Python, next, Ruby. You can select any one of the above. Here, try to use Java. In our training program also, we will use Java. Use Java programming language. Why? Can you tell me the reason, Sridevi? Why Java only? Why can't we use C Sharp or PHP, Perl or Python or Ruby?
Since it is developed in Java, so it has more supporting features if we use Java programming language.
Actually, no that type of restrictions. Selenium developed in Java technology, but it is compatible for other technologies also. Same compatibility. That is not the criteria. Why Java? See, two important reasons. Most of the
Java is a platform free.
Platform independent. Okay. Platform independent. Next. Okay. See, important reason is most of the Selenium QA engineers using Java. If we use Java, you can get more help from internet. Say most of the documentation, Java, most of the Selenium documentation available for Java only. For Python, Ruby, Perl, less or no documentation. See most of the companies using Java. See you can get help documentation and supporting documentation and more implementations in Java only. Getting the point, Sridevi? Why Java only?
Yes, sir.
See, most of the help documentation and implementations, code components, available for Java only. See, most of the help documentation and implementations available for Java only. If we choose Python or Ruby or Perl, less or no documentation and implementations. See, this is first topic. What is the first topic? Introducing Selenium. See, 5 topics we discussed in this first topic. 5 concepts. What are the 5 concepts? Tell me, Aarti.
It is a suite of software tools to automate the web browsers. It is a open source software. Selenium supports various operating system environments. Selenium supports various browsers. Selenium supports the various programming and scripting language to design and execute the tests. And it uses a Java programming language because...
Not it use. See, okay. You try to use Java. Why? See, most of the Selenium QA engineers nowadays using Java. See, if we use Java, you can get more help documentation and implementations in internet. That is the only reason. Okay. See, next topic, after second topic, we will take break. See, simple topic, brief history of the Selenium project. Can you tell me, Kamal, when Selenium launched? When it was launched? When it was first launched? See, Selenium first came to life in 2004. In 2004. Next major implementation, WebDriver. WebDriver launched at Google company in 2006. Next, one more important year, in 2008, whole Selenium team decided to merge WebDriver with Selenium 1. Earlier Selenium 1. After merging WebDriver, they called Selenium 2. See, WebDriver merged with Selenium RC called as Selenium 2. See here, Selenium RC WebDriver, purpose same. WebDriver is latest one and effective tool. RC outdated, but still RC is being developed only for maintenance purpose. It's a brief. See, almost 10 years completed. 10 years. Next, one more small concept. Selenium license. What is the license for Selenium? Have any idea, Sridevi? License for Selenium?
No, sir, no license. Like
No
it is
license.
open source tool.
No license for open source. License is there. See, all Selenium projects released under the license of Apache 2.0. See, all Selenium projects released under the license of Apache 2.0. Observe Muhammad Kamal, since it is open source tool, is it required? License is required? Say yes or no? See, all Selenium projects released under the license of Apache 2.0. License is there, Apache 2.0.
Yes. Yes, therefore license is required.
Why? No cost.
No cost.
No cost, free to use. Anybody can download and use, anybody can modify the code, then why license? Anybody can distribute the code, then why license?
I think just to track how many users.
No. What is the use of tracking users and other things? No use. See, purpose is there. See, first one. It is free license. It is free to use. See, anybody can download and use. See, here important concepts. Anybody can download and use. Means, free to use, free. Next, second one, anybody can modify the code. Suppose that source code is not sufficient for our application, then we can modify the code. Anybody can modify the code. Modify the source code. If you have programming knowledge, anybody can modify the code. Okay. Next, anybody can distribute the code. You can distribute the code. Distribute to other organizations. See, this license has disclaimer. Here important thing is say modified code. Suppose you downloaded source code and modify that code. After modification, you are planning to sell the code to some organizations. That is not allowed. See. Selling the modified code is not allowed. You see, distribute freely allowed. Got the purpose of understand the purpose of this Apache 2.0 license, Sridevi?
Yes, sir.
What is the main purpose?
We cannot sell the modified code.
Modified code. So no selling. See, anybody can download and use. Anybody can modify the source code, but that modified code can't be sold. So that is Apache 2.0 license primary intention. Okay, na Aarti? See, you take 10 minutes break. After the break, we will continue. See, next topic in this overview on Selenium chapter. First chapter I explained in brief why that is general topic. Second chapter onwards, Selenium. See, Selenium, so far we discussed introducing Selenium. Next, history of Selenium project. Next, Selenium license. Next, Selenium supporting platforms. Selenium supporting platforms, or you can say environments. Here, first application environment. Application environment. See, basically we have 4 types of software applications. See, in the IT industry we have 4 types of software applications. One is CUI based applications, command user interface, old applications. Nowadays most of the applications GUI based only. CUI based applications. Does Selenium support CUI based applications, Gagan? Does Selenium support CUI based applications or not?
Yeah, it supports CUI based applications.
CUI based, command user interface applications. See, based on user interface elements only, na?
Oh yeah, sure. Yes.
See, it doesn't support.
It doesn't support.
No problem. Nowadays, most of the applications are GUI based only. It doesn't support CUI based applications. Next, when it comes to GUI, 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier, n tier applications available. First, 1 tier. Two tier, client server only. Otherwise you can say desktop applications are Windows based, not operating system Windows, UI environment Windows. Windows based applications. Aarti, does that Selenium supports desktop or Windows based applications?
And yeah, it does.
Supports. What
No,
I
it
told
doesn't.
you,
Sorry.
first
It doesn't support.
it doesn't support. See, Selenium automates web browsers only. See, it doesn't support. What about UFT? Kamal, UFT supports 1 tier and 2 tier applications or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, UFT supports. Next, web applications. Sridevi, web applications. Does Selenium support web applications? Sridevi, pardon?
It supports.
Supports web applications. Next, mobile applications. Gagan, mobile applications. Does UFT supports mobile applications? Gagan, say yes or no.
No.
Say it doesn't support all types of mobile applications, but some applications, mobile applications which are having web forms.
Okay.
Mobile applications which are having web forms. See, final conclusion, in case of application environment, Selenium supports web applications and mobile applications which are having web forms, not all types of mobile applications. Next, just a minute. Operating environment. Operating environment. Say EFT supports only Windows based applications, Windows operating environment only. UFT, formerly QTP, supports Windows operating environment only. EFT doesn't support Unix or Unix flavors like Linux, Solaris, etc. applications. But Selenium suite supports Windows applications, Windows operating environment. It supports Windows operating environment. Next, Unix. Sridevi, what about Unix? Supports or not?
No.
No, it supports. Why you are saying no? See, in the first topic I explained now. See, Selenium supports various operating environments, Windows, Unix, Macintosh, etc. See, it supports Unix operating environment. Next, it supports Mac operating environment. Macintosh. Next, browsers. Tell me, Gagan, in case of browsers, UFT supports IE only for recording. For executing tests, it supports IE, Mozilla, Firefox and Chrome. But Selenium supports various browsers. Tell me, what are the supporting browsers?
Yeah, Firefox, IE.
See, low volume. Try to increase the volume.
Yeah, it's a Firefox,
Ah.
Safari, Opera.
Opera. Okay. See, Internet Explorer.
Yeah.
Next.
Firefox.
Mozilla Firefox.
Google Chrome.
Google Chrome.
Like all mainstream browsers.
Okay, all leading browsers. See, okay, put mute. Chrome. Next. Safari. Opera, etc. Next, programming or scripting languages. Programming or scripting languages for designing and executing tests. Suppose EFT supports VB script only. Say it supports Java programming language. Next, .NET. In .NET, C#. Next, continue, Aarti. PHP,
Python, yeah.
Python. Next, Perl. Next, Ruby. Okay, this is about supporting platforms. See, application environment, operating environment, browsers, programming or scripting languages. Next, Selenium suite of tools. Selenium suite of tools. See, in this chapter I will provide a brief introduction. Tomorrow, in the next chapter, we will discuss more. Tell me, Kamal, Selenium suite of tools. What are the suite of tools?
Selenium RC.
Selenium RC.
Selenium
Every time you are telling outdated tool. That is Selenium RC outdated.
Okay.
After 2 or 3 years, nobody use that Selenium RC. Now nowadays also only for maintenance projects.
Selenium WebDriver.
Selenium WebDriver.
I forgot the other two.
Okay, first one, Selenium IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Integrated Development Environment. See, it is Firefox add-on. It is Firefox add-on. Means it can't be installed separately. It can't be used separately. On Firefox only we can use the Selenium IDE tool. It is Firefox add-on. Next, it is prototyping tool. Prototyping tool means it is not for all types of test design. So many limitations are there. Major advantage, record and playback features. It is prototyping tool. See, features. See, in the next chapter I will explain more. In this chapter, brief introduction. Features. Can you tell me, Varma, one of the feature of Selenium IDE? Main use of Selenium IDE. Okay, Varma mic is not working now. Can you tell me, Gagan? Selenium IDE.
Yeah, basically, it's mainly record and playback feature.
Voice is very low. You try to rectify the problem at least by tomorrow. Or tell me, Aarti.
Yes, mainly a record and playback feature.
Yes, record and playback. See. Record and playback test cases. Next, we can edit. You can edit test cases. Next, execute a test case. Next, execute a test suite, test batch. Execute a test suite. Next, say not only recording, you can type test script if you know the commands. Type test script using element locators. Say in EFT we use the term object, software object. Here element, see both are synonyms, object, element, synonyms, but in Selenium we use this terminology element, UI elements, user interface elements, equivalent to software objects in UFT. Using elements locators means properties. For every element locators, element ID, next XPath, CSS, etc. that we will discuss in future. See, for Selenium automation, HTML fundamentals also required. Okay. Type test script using element locators. Okay. Next, Sridevi, any other features in debugging test cases? Okay, these are the important features in Selenium IDE. It is Firefox add-on. It can't be installed separately. Only on Firefox you can use Selenium IDE. Okay. Nowadays, Selenium IDE also outdated, slowly getting outdated. Features. Next, limitations. Limitations. Tell me, Sridevi, limitations of Selenium IDE. No limitations?
Only limitation is like only recording can be done.
Only recording. You can type test script using element locators and commands na, and Selenium commands. Not only recording, you can type.
Oh, yes sir, only Firefox, it is only Firefox add-on.
Yes. First drawback is it works, means it supports. It supports Firefox browser only. This is important limitation. Next, see, data-driven testing. Data-driven testing is not possible. Next, no flow control. No flow control statements. See, no conditional statements and loop statements in Selenium IDE. Next, and one more facility also there in Selenium IDE. We can export tests. See, Selenium test default format is HTML. See, Selenium test default format is HTML. but we can export tests to other languages. That is a feature of IDE. Export test cases to other programming and scripting languages. Supported only those 6 programming and scripting languages. Say after recording, you can export test to Java, Perl or Ruby or Python. Then you can edit in other tool, not in this tool. No flow control. Next, no detailed result reports. It provides only summary. See, these are the important limitations. Just tell me, Aarti, features of Selenium. Next, Kamal will explain drawbacks of Selenium or limitations of Selenium. First, features of Selenium. Quick.
Record and playback test case.
Yes.
The Selenium ID and the features is record and playback test cases. Can edit test cases, execute a test case, execute a test suite, type test script using element locators, debugging test cases, export the test cases to other programming or scripting language.
Good. Next.
And the limitations.
Okay. Kamal, tell me limitations of Selenium IDE.
It supports Firefox browsers only.
Okay.
I haven't written the others.
It doesn't support data-driven testing. It doesn't support flow control statements.
Okay.
It doesn't generate detailed result reports, only summary only. Okay. Next, another one. Now we are in Selenium suite of tools. Next, outdated one. Selenium RC. Remote control. Remote control. See, it is client server application. Client server. Application. Important features. Can you tell me, Sridevi? Say we can import test cases from IDE. Later you can edit those test cases. Okay. Here import means you can export from Selenium IDE, but Selenium RC point of view, that is importing. Import test cases from Selenium IDE, or you can directly type test scripts using without recorded script. You can directly type test script using element locators and methods. Type test script using UI element locators, user interface element locators and methods. Next, it supports conditional and loop statements. It supports conditional and loops statements. Next, it supports various browsers. Example, IE, Firefox, Chrome, Safari, Opera, etc. Next, it supports various programming and scripting languages. Various programming and scripting languages to create and execute tests. Next, it has built-in result generator. Built-in test result generator, etc. Next, drawbacks. Drawbacks. Can you tell me, Kamal, any drawbacks of Selenium RC? Nowadays, outdated. Can you tell me, Aarti, drawbacks of?
Maybe when you execute it takes a longer time because it goes to the
yes, that is the important thing. It takes more time. It takes more time for test execution. Why? First, client request goes to server. First, we have to launch the server. We have to launch the Selenium server. Client request goes to server. Then it sends to browser. So, time taking. Next, continue, Aarti. It takes more time for test execution. See, one more feature is random test execution possible. Random test execution. Next, it can't execute tests in parallel. Simultaneous. Say if you want to execute tests simultaneously using multiple machines, not possible. It can't execute tests in parallel. These are the important drawbacks. Next, new one, WebDriver. See, WebDriver. See what features we discussed for Selenium RC all are supporting by WebDriver also. WebDriver is successor of Selenium RC. If you know the WebDriver, you no need to use Selenium RC. Successor of Selenium RC. It has some other features also. Can you tell me, Kamal, WebDriver features over Selenium RC?
It supports a wide range of browsers.
See, RC also supports.
It's faster in execution.
Yes. See, faster in test execution. Faster in test execution. Why? Here no server concept. WebDriver can communicate directly with browsers. So, no server concept, faster in test execution. And one more thing, one drawback, on drawback also there over Selenium RC. It doesn't have any built-in command for generating test result. Using Java or Perl or Python languages, you can define test results. See what features we discussed for Selenium RC. All are supported by WebDriver. WebDriver is successor of Selenium RC. Nowadays, most of the companies using WebDriver interface. See, it is Java, it is interface developed in Java, but it supports other programming languages. It is an interface. It is an interface. What is interface? Any idea, Sridevi? It is an interface. Suppose Selenium IDE, having IDE, integrated development environment, but WebDriver doesn't have any integrated development environment. Here only editor only. You can type commands and programmatic statements. It is an interface only, isn't it?
Yes.
Next, one more element is there, one more tool. Otherwise, you can say components of Selenium or suite of tools, Selenium suite of tools. Selenium grid. Selenium grid. What is the purpose of Selenium grid? Can you tell me, Gagan? Selenium grid. See, grid two versions. Selenium grid 1.0 supports RC. Selenium RC tests only. Next, new version, Selenium 2.0 supports WebDriver also. Means RC and WebDriver. Selenium 2 means RC and WebDriver. RC outdated. WebDriver, same functionality as like RC. WebDriver is successor of Selenium RC. Then why they merged WebDriver with RC in Selenium 2? Kamal, getting my question? For example, Selenium IDE is different,
No,
Selenium WebDriver is different. IDE features different, WebDriver features different. But Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, same purpose. Successor of Selenium RC is WebDriver. But in Selenium 2, the Selenium team merged WebDriver with Selenium RC. Why? If we use WebDriver, no need to use Selenium RC, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we use Selenium RC, no need to use WebDriver. Then why they merged Selenium WebDriver with RC in Selenium 2? Say, still Selenium RC being developed only for maintenance purpose. Maintenance projects are there now, old projects. Only for maintenance mode. But Selenium WebDriver for new projects. See, Selenium Grid supports WebDriver. WebDriver tests. Means RC and WebDriver. Tell me, Sridevi, what is the purpose of Selenium Grid? Selenium Grid. See, it is used to grouping tests. Important one. It is used to execute tests in parallel using using multiple missions. So we can reduce the test execution time. See, primary purpose of Selenium Grid is executing tests in parallel, getting Aarti. What is parallel execution?
For example, you have different machines, you can still work or execute the test cases in different machines.
Different missions. Using multiple missions, you can execute tests in parallel so that you can reduce the test execution time. See, in two ways you can use this one. Suppose first scenario, scenario 1, we have 100 tests. I want to execute 100 tests using various browsers. Suppose 100 tests on IE, Mozilla, Firefox, next Opera, Safari. If it is single system, 5 browsers, 5 into 100 tests, total 500 tests time. If we use Selenium Grid using 5 missions, you can distribute that tests. 100 tests. Suppose first mission 1, 100 tests using IE. Same second mission, same 100 tests using Mozilla Firefox or Chrome, like that. Getting the point, Kamal? Understand this concept?
No, sir.
Observe. Suppose we have 100 tests. As per customer requirement, we have to execute all these tests on various browsers, 5 different browsers. If it is single testing, if it is single system, then how to execute? I want to execute 100 tests using 5 different browsers. If it is single node, how to execute? First, 100 tests on IE,
So it will
next
be
100 tests on 1 by 1 only, na?
Yeah. So it's 500.
500
tests.
total. Example. Okay, some browsers take less time, some browsers take more time. That is different concept. Anyhow, 5 browsers into 100 tests, 500 test cases. Execution time is more, na?
Yes.
If it is a Selenium grade, you can use 5 different machines. Using multiple machines, you can execute tests in parallel.
Yeah, it's fast.
Fast. This is one scenario. Next, another scenario. Executing tests in parallel. Another scenario, scenario 2. We have 300 tests using, as per customer requirement, using IE only single browser. Here also you can distribute the test cases. Suppose Mission 1. On Mission 1, first 100 tests. See here same browser, no? Next, Mission 2. Second 100 tests. Mission 3. Third 100. Like this. Getting this point? Scenario 1 and 2 are 3. Hello? Sridevi.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Understand the concept? What is the difference between these two scenarios? Executing tests in parallel, okay, but find the difference. In first scenario, all tests can be executed on various browsers. In second scenario, tests can be executed on single browser, but tests are more. You can distribute the test suites, isn't it? Any confusion, Kamal?
No, sir.
Just a minute, Gagan. We can run. Yes. Next, one more facility. Generating test reports using HTML and or XML formats. Suppose we created some tests in WebDriver. Selenium Grid doesn't support for test design. Selenium Grid doesn't support for test design. It is only for executing tests and generating reports. Find the concept, Sridevi. Can we generate Selenium tests in Selenium Grid? No, it's only for execution.
I mean, we can't design, only execute.
We can't design, only execution. See, what is the execution? In WebDriver also you can execute. In IDE also you can execute. In Selenium RC also you can execute. And what is the use of Selenium Grid? Parallel execution and reporting facility. Okay. See, this is Selenium suite of tools. Next, what is this concept? Fifth one. Next, important concept. Nowadays, UFT and Selenium are competitors. UFT, Selenium are competitors. Okay. Before going to discuss Selenium suite advantages and disadvantages, one comparison. Selenium versus UFT. Both can be used for functional and regression test automation. See, Selenium and UFT, Unified Functional Testing, can be used for functional and regression testing. See, in this topic, Selenium versus UFT. See, in the functional and regression test automation market, these two are the competitors. Remaining tools, less market. Tell me, Gagan, Selenium versus UFT. Given difference?
Both can use for regression and functional testing.
Okay. Kamal, Selenium versus UFT.
Selenium can automate web-based tests.
Yes. Before that, it is open source. Open source means free, no license cost. No license cost. UFT is vendor tool. Vendor is HP. See, cost, license cost. No license cost, here cost. This is one difference. Selenium open source, UFT vendor tool. Next, Selenium supports web-based applications only. Web-based applications only. Aarti, whereas UFT
Desktop application and the web.
And web. See, desktop or Windows based applications and web applications. Web applications. Next, environment limitations. Suppose if you want to test Java application using UFT, Java add-in required. After loading Java add-in only, UFT can recognize Java objects. Suppose if you want to test .NET application, .NET add-in required. If you want to test SAP application, SAP add-in required. If you want to test PeopleSoft application, PeopleSoft add-in required. See, UFT add-ins two types, internal add-ins, external add-ins. External add-ins extra cost. See, this is object-based test tool, but environment limitations are there. Add-ins, add-ons not available for all types of application environments. Getting this point, Sridevi? Environment limitations are there na? Suppose Informatica application, no Informatica add-in in UFT. See, based on add-ins only, it supports test operations. What about Selenium, Kamal? Suppose I want to test Java application using EFT, Java add-in available, PeopleSoft add-in available, .NET add-in available. Suppose I want to test informatic application, no add-in available. See, EFT, that HP providing add-ins for all industry leading technologies, but not for all technologies. What about EFT? What about Selenium? One limitation is there, Selenium doesn't support desktop applications. What about Selenium? Selenium requires any add-ins for object identification?
No, sir.
No add-ins required. See, using element locators, every web element having locators, using object, object means you can use object or element term. See, in UFT we use object, but in Selenium element. See, every web element having locators, example element ID, name, XPath, CSS, etc. That we will discuss later. Using elements locators, it supports test operations. No add-ins required. Next. Tell me, Sridevi, contribute. Aarti.
It supports Java, C++,
Yes.
Perl, those kind of, and UFT has a VB script mainly.
Yes, it supports Java, C#, PHP, Ruby, Python, Perl to create and enhance tests. Whereas UFT supports VB script only. VB script only. Gagan, anything else? Sridevi. Supports Windows, Unix, Mac, etc. operating environments. Gagan, UFT supports?
Only Windows?
Only Windows, yes. Only Windows operating environment. Next. Tell me, Kamal, anything else? Say, in case of Selenium,
Web browsers.
browsers, it supports various browsers, IE, Firefox, Chrome, Opera, Safari, etc. UFT, Sridevi, UFT supports
Only IE.
only IE for designing tests. For executing tests, it supports Mozilla and Chrome also.
Chrome, yes.
IE, Firefox, and Chrome. Next, say if it is image testing, in case of Selenium, limited support. Limited support for image based testing. CFT, rich support. Rich support for image testing. Next, EFT, easy to use. Easy to use. See, difficult. Difficult to use. Why? Can you tell me, Harti? Why EFT is easy to use and Selenium difficult to use?
Maybe you need a knowledge like Java or something like that.
Here
Whereas
also
UFT has only
knowledge
PPC.
required now. Suppose I selected Java for Selenium, Java enough, or Perl enough, or Ruby enough, any one. If it is EFT also VB script required now.
Yes, sir.
That is not the criteria. Architecture. See, Selenium is single tool. Selenium IDE integrated with VB script engine and MS Access database engine. See, using that single tool, you can use record and playback features. Next, you can type scripts using descriptive code. Next, you can enhance scripts using checkpoints or flow control statements, and you can work with flat files, Excel files, and database files. See, that tool architecture is simple. Simple architecture. Selenium, complex architecture. All facilities not in single area. Getting this point, Arti? If it is EFT, all features and programming features and tool features available in tool itself now.
Yeah.
See, final conclusion, EFT tool architecture is simple. See, you can use EFT tool integrated development environment. Next, VB script features. Next, you can work with flat files, Excel files, database files. But in Selenium, and one more thing, in EFT built in that result generation facility also there. But in Selenium, IDE only for record and playback. Using Selenium WebDriver, you can design and execute tests, but result reporting facility complex. See, difficult to use. Why? Complex architecture. complex architecture. Okay, next. Anything else Sridevi contribute? Here, no reliable technical support. Since it is open source, no reliable technical support from anybody. See, no reliable technical support. But UFT, HP provides technical support. HP provides technical support. Next, in Selenium, new features, new versions, new features may not work properly, no guarantee. But maximum features may work, but no guarantee. See, new features may not work properly. See, in case of UFT, new features will work. Anything else, Sridevi? See, for Selenium, no centralized maintenance of objects. Here, no object repository. See, no object repository. No centralized maintenance of objects. No centralized maintenance of objects. In Selenium, Kamal, centralized maintenance using shared repositories, you can maintain test objects in central location
Object repository.
Object repository
Yes,
concept
object
is there.
repository.
See,
Right.
centralized maintenance. Centralized maintenance of objects. Next, no authorized certification. Since it is open source, no authorized certification. See, HP conducts certification. See, these are the important differences between Selenium and UFT tool. Next, one more small concept and we will continue tomorrow. Frameworks and other tools. Frameworks and other tools used in Selenium. Frameworks and other tools used in Selenium. See, here we use third-party frameworks. You can use either JUnit or TestNG, etc. See, JUnit. See, I will explain tomorrow. Test NG. These are frameworks. Next, other tools are add-ons. Add-ons. Firebug. See, David, hate this one. Firebug.
I think for Firefox.
Okay, what is the purpose of Firebug? It is also Firefox extension, browser extension. It is Firefox add-on. What is the purpose? Used to inspect elements. Used to inspect UI elements. Observe Aarti, in UFT tool, object spy is there now.
Yes, sir.
What is the purpose of object spy? It is used to get object
You can
information.
able to get all the objects identification.
Object information, not identification. Identification based on add-ins. Object spy used to get objects information. Here, Firebug third-party tool, it's not comes under Selenium suite. You can install Firebug in browser, Mozilla Firefox. It is used to inspect UI elements for getting element properties, for example, ID, name, etc. You can use Firefox. Next, one more thing also there. Firebug. Next, one more thing. Firepath. See, it is extension of Firebug. Used to get a XPath. Okay, in practical chapters you can get more clarity. Tomorrow I will explain JUnit, what is JUnit, what is TestNG. And one more thing I forgot. Say, in case of UFT, ALM, Application Lifecycle Management, formerly Quality Center, can be integrated for test management. What about Selenium, Gagan? Any tool for integration?
Yeah, Selenium IDE.
Pardon?
IDE.
IDE is not management tool. See, no other tools integration. Only this suite of tools, no other tools integration. See, we'll meet tomorrow. In this chapter, 2 more concepts are there. Just I will index. Next concept, say I need to explain JUnit, what is JUnit and what is TestNG. Next, advantages of Selenium. Next, disadvantages of Selenium. Next, choose Selenium tools based on our project requirement. Next, configure Selenium tools. Okay, we'll meet tomorrow same time.